Today, as a training ride for a 1200k next month in Ireland, I ride some of Marin's most classic routes, including Alpine Dam, Seven Sisters and Paradise Drive. Along the way, I will also tell the story of Sausalito's now forgotten Houseboat Civil War and of a mythical Marin music venue that was based on a ship.
Trouble will be over. So will your pain. You are gonna see those blue skies bursting right through the rain. The lower you fall, you got too close to heaven, that's all. Now in the morning, you can cry all that you want to. We'll spend the whole day weeping. Right now I want you to lay down your weary head and let me see you sleeping. You've been walking around, baby, inflamed and ashamed, like your one is tall, but you got too close to heaven, that's all. Baby, you got some really basic things wrong. You wouldn't believe me if I told you why I rock you into this song.
It's almost summertime, which means the arrival of San Francisco's cold, windy and foggy season. Thankfully, Marin is on our doorstep, and if you avoid the coast, you are almost always guaranteed warmth and sunshine. This ride is part of my preparation for next month's Cade Miller Falls ride, which is a 1200k around Ireland. My recent 400k and 600k efforts really expose the fact that I'm undertrained, so today's ride is an attempt to get back on track.
That's all.
By some measures, Marin is the second wealthiest place in the United States, just after Manhattan. Sausalito is famous for many things, including Otis Redding's song Sitting on the Dock of the Bay, the Orson Welles and Rita Hayworth movie Lady from Shanghai, and the story of its colourful mayor, Sally Stanford. To look at it today, it is hard to believe that in the early 70s, this was also the location of a rolling conflict that has lasted decades between the counterculture and wealthy conservatives. The seeds of this conflict go all the way back to just after World War II. Sausalito's wartime shipbuilding operations had ceased, and Don Arks, the son of a prominent waterfront property owner, invited artists, bohemians, and out-of-work shipbuilders to live aboard the many abandoned barges on his property. The colony was almost similar to San Francisco's famous artist enclave, Carville by the Sea, except it was based on the water, and instead of abandoned cable cars, its residents lived on abandoned barges. The 60s meant that the Beats and Bohemians were joined by the hippies. Famous characters of the era like Alan Watts, Shel Silverstein, and Allen Ginsberg lived here. The clubhouse for this motley crew was the 100-year-old Charles Van Dam ferry, which in a former life spent 40 years hauling passengers between Richmond and San Rafael. It even had a stint as a restaurant in Oakland's Jack London Square. The decommissioned ferry initially housed a rough-and-tumble restaurant known as Juanita's Gallery. This morphed into the famous venue known as the Ark in 1968. Depending on who you talked to, the Ark had many famous visitors, including Jimi Hendrix, Neil Young, Janis Joplin, and the Grateful Dead. It was also the location for the rock group Santana's debut.
I know this hurt that you're feeling. I felt these same things too. I got spaces way down deep inside of me that are just the same as you. You wanna wrap your arms around your head, turn out the light and roll yourself into a ball. You got too close to heaven. That's all. Too close to heaven. You got too close to heaven.
By the mid-70s, just like Haight-Ashbury, drug use had turned the vibe of the houseboat community into something darker. At the same time, wealthy Sausalito residents were pushing the authorities to clean up the waterfront in preparation for development. The newspaper The Chronicle described the tension between the opposing communities as follows. There developed a huge conflict, almost a civil war, between the freewheeling houseboaters and the more conservative population of Sausalito, most of them living in the hills of the town. It was a battle between the hill and the bay shore. A quote from a Waldo Point resident in the same article stated, "We represent one of the last vestiges of the Sausalito that was. The hill snobs have always fought the wharf rats, but I never thought they would go this far." Ordinances were passed by the local authorities which required houseboats to be hooked up to city sewage lines. When economically pressed residents could not comply, there were multiple skirmishes as law enforcement attempted to tow away people's homes. Authorities also brought in pile drivers and bulldozers to build new piers for development. Each attempt was resisted by the houseboater community, many of whom now had young families. In one notable incident, the boat dwellers at the dead of night brought in and sunk a large barge. This action prevented further development, but the writing was on the wall. By the late 80s, both sides were tired of the conflict, so an agreement was reached. The boat dwellers' berths were designated as low-income housing, and as long as they brought their boats up to code, they could stay indefinitely. Many at the time hailed it as a victory for the houseboat community. However, riding around today, there is not too much evidence of the counterculture. Here and there you see old decrepit barges covered by tarps with rusting bikes outside, but mostly you see gentrified multi-million-dollar houseboats. Surprisingly, the conflict is not quite over. As recently as last year, authorities were attempting to evict a group of liveaboards known as anchor-outs. These residents live out in the bay and are perhaps the last echoes of a once thriving community.
Cold beaten eyes that once were bright. I know you just can't help but run. When you hear that sweet voice call, you got too close to heaven. That's all. I'll walk a mile for you, baby. I'll walk a mile for you, baby. I'll walk a mile for you, baby. So when you smile for me, baby, just once when you smile for me, baby. Smile for me, baby. Won't you smile for me, baby? Won't you smile for me, baby? Smile for me, baby. Smile for me, baby. Come on and smile for me, baby. Just wanna smile for me, baby. Come on, smile for me, baby. Smile for me, baby. Smile for me, baby. Smile for me, baby.
Join us for our upcoming Bike Every Hood club rides. The next is in San Francisco, and in mid-June we'll visit Ireland's third highest pub. Please like and subscribe.